Computer, yes. Okay. Everybody can hear me? Can someone besides Joey come off mute and just let me know if you can hear me? Joey, I just realized you're the only one I've
Yeah,
talked
we
to,
hear
so
you.
I
perfect.
can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, let's get into it here. For anyone that doesn't know, this is if you ever want to see what futures are doing, you can just type this in on TradingView. So futures right now are, I would say, chopping. I wouldn't say they're up, or I mean, technically they're down, but not much at all. We're sitting right in a nice bullish imbalance from Friday. Um, Even when we were up earlier, it wasn't that much of a rip, frankly. Especially, I I did personally think we'd be up a little bit more after the Bitcoin rip today. Um, where are we on Bitcoin? So we fallen back to 92. We saw a nice, pretty. Where did we see our peak today? Yeah, about 95 today, which was freaking beautiful, by the way. Rip up, but now we're just sitting on this nice imbalance, bullish imbalance here on Bitcoin as well. So overall, I think we're sitting pretty into the week. So let's start with the S&P. Let's go to our daily chart. So we got this beautiful M down on the daily um, that played out last week, last Sunday when I did this, right? Yeah, last Sunday, either whatever day I had to fly, so it had to be Sunday. I did class in the airport, and we were up here, and I said we should go see the bottom of this M. Played out literally to the penny. It went a couple. What I had us going to 583.46. We went to 582.47. So you can't ask for much more. And then what an impulsive move back up, and we closed right below our 50% fib, our 50% Fibonacci here. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see that. That's why these fibs matter, guys. Look at that rejection there to the penny, right? Again, a little bit over, but if you can get that close on levels, can't ask for much more. Oops, there's two people waiting to get in. Admit. Okay, there we go. Um, okay, let me minus that. So, and I guess if you have any questions, guys, just come off mute, ask while I'm doing it. For any individual stock that I go over, and then obviously I'll take some requests. Any questions on SPY? By the way, guys, normally this is considered a bullish pattern here. Let me just clear this really quick here. This is how I look at my buy and sell blocks here. Oops. Where are you? There we go. So this pattern, guys, is just a double bottoms and double tops. So when an M completes, like in life, nothing's perfect, right? Most double tops aren't perfect, most double bottoms aren't perfect. But when an M completes on a daily chart or any chart for that matter, it's actually a double bottom, right? Boom, boom, that's bullish. So same thing in the inverse, right? So if I just show you guys really quick a W here, when a W finishes, what is that? It's actually a double top, right? So and that's why when the bottom of a W is forming, it's a double bottom, it's bullish. When the top of a M is forming, it's actually bearish because it's what? A double top. So again, guys, the market moves in these M's and W's. You need to be able to spot them. Um, they're literally all over the place, right? They're all over the market. You can see them everywhere. And again, I'm just drawing crappy ones right there. I'm not taking the time just to show you. So any questions on SPY, guys, before I move on, or just the overall market right now? If you're in anything to swing, you need, in my opinion, 4 to 5 plus months, um, just for safety right now. With obviously, or there's a lot going on in the world. Okay, let's get into some individuals. As nobody's got questions, I'm just going to go down the list here. Riot had a really nice M play out. If I wanted a little lower, we didn't get it, and so instead, 786 caught some buying here. Which again, once you start hitting the 707, 786, 886 on a short, you have to assume most people are going to start to get out because these are your three profit taking Fibonacci's levels.
Oh,
Oh, is there a question?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize my mic was muted.
Oh, you're good, Terrence. Appreciate that. Anyways, if Bitcoin continues trending up this week, this is a nice cheap play for those of you that don't want to play coin or hood or stuff like that. And these are the levels, right? I as long as you're over, round up. So as long as you're over $9, these would be your targets. 960, $10 is the 200-day moving average. That'll be a huge level. If it gets over that, I'd look for 11 and then 12. If it loses 9 again, I'd look to short. It's going to go to that 7 level. Okay, DraftKings, guys, you want to talk about just perfect. Came down to the 618, which is your golden fib. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice candle on Friday. Really nice candle. If we can stay above this 43 level, 45 will come next. We have a bearish imbalance here, and then over that, 47, so on and so forth. This is actually, for smaller accounts, one of my favorite plays this week, DraftKings. NBA or March Madness is starting soon as well. So that's important. Again, guys, if there's any questions, just stop me and ask. Lemonade, nice chart as well. Came down all the way to this 707, but between this bullish imbalance here and the 200-day moving average sitting here, got some really nice algorithmic buying off of this. So again, remember, I use hollow candles. So if you see a red candle that's hollow, just know that that's actually that finished green on the day. But because technically, so again, if I wasn't using hollow candles, you would see this as a green candle because you would see this as a red candle because technically you closed below the previous day's close. But you on hollow candles, it'll hollow it out and show you that technically you did close higher than where you opened. So we opened all the way down on 27. We closed all the way up at 31.50. Bullish, obviously, then now we're stuck at this 50% fib. We can stay over 36. I'm looking for 40, above 40, 40. There's nothing holding this back. Notice how we really couldn't get over this level lately, right? Well, we tested it back in January, and then it took us a month plus to get back, and now it looks like it's going to take us about a week to get back. So when you start to notice a stock is testing the same level over and over again, this is to the upside or the downside, y'all. And then the frequency in which that's happening is getting shorter. That level is going to break soon. So I would bet on a break over $40 on Lemonade this week. And over that 45 will come quick. There's not much holding it back from 45. Okay, Baba we played this 2 weeks ago. It actually went past where I had it going. You guys can see this again. Here's a beautiful W that played out, right? Double bottom is what? Explosive move up. And we blew past the possible double top, right? I mean, this went even higher than I thought it was going to go. Now what I'm waiting for is a move back to this minus 236 fib, this 120, let's call it 128. If we can bounce there and hold, I'd look to long again. But I either that or I need above 135 because there's a big bearish imbalance up here that I think is going to get sold into. So, but China's still moving pretty nice. Admit. Anybody else waiting on the waiting? Oh, there's people are chatting in. Sorry, guys. Are your charts including pre-market hours as well? Yeah, I use extended hours, but on the daily you can't see that. Just so you know. So like, doesn't really matter. But yes, I do include extended hours, but that doesn't really matter until you get into intraday charts. So like, if I went down to the 4 hour, yes, you would see that, but doesn't matter on the daily. Nike. This is everybody knows I'm in Nike pretty heavy right now. It's pretty simple. We need past this. I'm going to keep this one as simple as possible. Need past this 200-day moving average. Let me zoom out and show you all something. How powerful this has been on Nike since December of 2023. Sold. Got close. Sold. Got close. Sold. Haven't even gotten close in a while. We're selling. We need past the 200. This stock desperately needs past the 200-day moving average. Sometimes it's that simple, y'all. And this is what I tell people all the time. Trading is simple, but not easy. People overcomplicate it all the time. By the way, here's another great example. Just for y'all to see. W into what? An M. Then you bounce into another W, which is bearish. And what did you do? You gap down. Right? Look at this. This is how the market moves in these waves, guys. These M's and W's all over. You can find them on any stock chart. Right now, what got us up on Nike? This jagged ass preschool looking W. That's how my 5-year-old would draw W. Got to be able to spot these guys and gals. Right? Here's a M. Right? Here's a W. Anyways, that's not what we're here for. So, anyways, Nike's pretty simple. Need over the 200-day moving average. If we can get over that, I mean, you guys can see all these bearish imbalances, right? But if we can get over the 200-day, I'm looking for a move into the 90s, like relatively quickly. But you can see we've sold it. Let me look at all this. Look at all this. This is all supply right here. All these fair value gaps you see are supply. So, but I really like Nike into this week. Let's look at Celsius. Gave up that earnings move back into trend. Just pathetic. But what I do like is that we now don't have any imbalances on the chart. The gap has been filled. but it needs to break back out. It's that simple. That's why you haven't seen me re-signal anything. Still in my shares, not in any options. Need to get back over, break out of the trend, and I'd be back in some options. 6+ months, so June or beyond. Oh, Hood, really nice play as well for Bitcoin. If sure, when I'm done, yep. Really nice play. Should be. I mean, we played it last week, so y'all know. If you played it with me last week, you know how expensive or inexpensive it is. Obviously, everybody has different size accounts, so this obviously wouldn't be as cheap as Riot, but Hood is a major crypto exchange now, honestly, as well, just beyond stocks. And so if Bitcoin continues to trend up, this should get a natural pump. Look at where we've been rejecting, right? This 50% Fibonacci level. One wick sold off here, two wick, right? So that's three straight rejections. We need past that. 50, call it 51. So round up is a big level for Hood. We really need past that. We've now created a bearish imbalance here as well due to this. Need past it. Need past 51 in the worst way, and we'd get to 55 pretty quick. So, also, if you're a bull, hopefully somebody spotted this. We have a what looks like a nice little W that could be an explosive move up, especially with how Hood moves. So again, y'all got to start to spot these things early as possibilities, right? Because that's what the market is. Whole lot of possibilities. Like Hood if we get over 51. Other than that, short it. If it loses 45, it's dead. Call it 44. You can round down to 44. I could see another stick and move here at the 43, 44 level. A wick off that 707 again. Okay, SoFi, really nice, guys. Here's a great Fibonacci example, combined with obviously a really nice bullish imbalance here. But SoFi, absolutely, which is funny because if you've taken the master class or you're going to get into the master class, one of the things we go over in big detail is Fibonacci, and you know that I talk about it often that the 50% fib is made up by traders. Doesn't exist in nature or anything like that, but it's very interesting that SoFi just seems to love it. I mean, every time we've hit this 50% fib level, this 1390, or even gone deeper into this bullish imbalance here, I mean, we just get bought up. Boom, boom. That led to an all-time high, and now look where we are again. Boom, caused a little short-term bounce, but then man, it got bought up again, heavy on Friday. Needs to close above what you guys see here, which is this bullish imbalance. We need to get rid of this so that these sell orders are gone. So we need past, just call it 15. We need to close above 15. We need a daily close above 15, which would also put us above our 382 fib, which everybody knows. Well, I guess not everybody knows, but take the class 382 618. Those are the two most important fibs. Would love to be above it. Hims, my favorite stock right now. This thing's a beauty. Looks very similar to Hood going into this week, right? You guys should be able to see it. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit lower to go up, right? Sometimes you have to go down to go up. Wouldn't be surprised if we just continue up. This thing's insane. So came all the way down to the 786, which is normally where you see the last of profits. But again, 707, 786 can go as low as the 886 for profits, but got a perfect wick off the 786 of this Fibonacci sequence. And now, after two straight rejections of the 618, we managed to close above it. We need a second close, so we need to close above 44 minimum tomorrow, right? 43.67. So round up, we need above 44 minimum for this bullish reversal to be confirmed, if you will. I always need at least two closes to confirm something. Same thing if I was to short, right? I need two closes below, right? So, like for example, one of the reasons you wouldn't have shorted these three closes is because each day you were closing above the previous day high. So that's not bearish enough to short. Okay, NVIDIA, another nice one. Look at this, guys. Another great fib example. Came down 618, bounced. Came down 618, bounced. Guys, especially if you take the 3-month class I do, you're going to learn these 618s are to be bought. If that's lost and you're short, you normally want to start taking most of your profits at 707, 786. And if you're still in at the 886, you're just a greedy bastard. But yeah, no, NVIDIA looks good as long as it can stay above 114. Call it 115, round up to 115. Needs to stay above 115. If we start closing below 115, 114, which means, by the way, I need to extend this out now, which means we're getting dangerously close, obviously, to starting to come down here. We don't want to lose trend, right? You don't want to lose trend. Trend is your friend until the end. Right now with NVIDIA, I'm bullish to a degree, right? Because what are we still doing on NVIDIA? So here was a high, then this was a lower high. Then we made another lower high. Then we made another lower high. We need to break that pattern because if you just keep making lower highs, what are you doing? You're trending down. So what I do like that we finally did is we made a what? Higher low. So we need this to confirm tomorrow, and we need to stay above this so that that higher low is validated. Oops, I want this to stay. Oh shit. Okay, those are the only. And if you guys typed in questions, sorry, I didn't bring Chuck to stop me in my rants to say, hey, somebody asked a question. But those are the only stocks that I wanted to go over. So now I'll take some requests. You can. Where's the chats? You can either type them in or please, by all, there were some chats. Sorry. So for clarifications, are an M completes double top and a move down, W double bottom and a move up. That's the inverse, Dom. I'll show you right now. Indicators, like the indicators I use, they're all custom. Where can I find the masterclass? Just DM me on Discord. GME and VTS. Sure. Let me answer Dom's question really quick, or let's just go to SPY. So an M, right? This would be completion. When you come down and you do it, that's a double bottom. When a W completes, right? So like you were writing out a W, like literally pretend you're writing out a W, right? That would be what? A double top, right? So when a W is almost like on its third of four legs, that's a double bottom. When an M is at its third of four legs, that's a double top. And then it comes down and makes a double bottom. Does that make sense, Dom? If you could just type in the chat if it does, or come off, you can come off mute and say it makes sense, or it doesn't make sense and you need me to explain it in a different way.
Kind of. I get what you're saying. You're saying like, okay, so there's an M right there. That's a
Yep.
double top because the top is two highs, right?
This
And
would
then
be a
when it
double
comes back,
top. Yep.
right, but when it comes
Yep.
back down, it makes a double bottom.
Yep. You see that? Because we made a double bottom.
So does that indicate that it's gonna go down more
That's
or up?
I get what
Up.
you're saying. Okay, so double tops are inherently bearish, double bottoms are inherently bullish.
Okay. Okay.
Good question.
The
And
I
by
have
the
another question. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, ask another one. I just the only thing I want to say to kind of put a bow on that is just remember that um, you know, double bottoms are inherently bullish and double tops are inherently bearish until they aren't, right? Like nothing in trading is 100%. Just remember that.
Okay.
Sometimes a double top can give way and you break through, and sometimes a double bottom doesn't hold and you break down. So again, everything in trading is you're looking for. I always say this is one of the first things I say in the master class when we do our first class is you're really looking for reasons not to take a trade. I think everybody wakes up every day and they're looking for a million reasons to take a trade, and that's why people lose money all the time. When I'm done, but I'll come up. Okay, I love you. Um, and I think that's why a lot of people lose a lot of money. You need to come in every day and look for a million reasons not to take a trade, but then there's just so many reasons staring you in the face that you have to take it, if that makes sense. Like for here, for example, on SPY on Friday, when I was telling people we were at a bottom, we had held trend, we had finished this daily M, we wicked down to the 786, which is one of the final profit taking fibs. There was a million reasons to, you know, million reasons looking me in the face saying this was probably a bottom. You get what I'm saying when I say that?
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You said you had another question.
I just wanted to know, how do you know when someone is buying it based off of Trading View? I thought there was like a different app to watch for like whales when they buy like the dips and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah, there's an app called Unusual Whales. I think Flow, a lot of Flow is garbage, but there's a couple Flow apps called Cheddar Flow, Unusual Whales. God, I'm forgetting one of the main ones. But I use again, these are all custom and paid algorithms. I'll just be honest, because they have such a large following, I get them for free. I never like to hawk anything without
Okay.
telling people the honest truth. But like for example, the one I just flipped on. Let me just turn everything off so you can see. So like this right here is showing buys and sells. This is and it's showing that there was far more buys than sells. But this is a paid algorithm through a company
Okay.
called Lux Algo. Just to be, again, I'm always transparent. So same thing with those flow apps, by the way, Cheddar Flow, Unusual Whales. They're going to charge you money to get access to that data. So just know that when you go to look for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. No, great question. And then I guess G, that answers your question too. The indicators, I draw them all myself. The only indicators that I use that are free are moving averages. Other than that, like I draw my own fibs. I teach how to draw fair value gaps in my master class, which are super helpful and are just as valuable actually as these buy and sell blocks. And there's a bunch of indicators on them. I think most of the indicators on a fair value gap suck, but that's just my opinion. So where can I find the masterclass info? Yeah, Fitz or anybody that's interested, just DM me on Discord. Just make sure you're actually talking to me. So go into the, because by the way, guys, just a warning, I have 1,000,001 impersonators on Twitter and on Discord. Somebody got scammed out of 30K last week. Don't let it be you. So just make sure you're actually DMing me, which if you ever want to, just ask in the chat. Yeah, Edgar, you know how you can get people? Ask them what my actual name is, because the scammers don't know what my name is. And then triple check in the Discord that you're actually talking to me. Because one day some Discord's going to know that my actual name is not Edgar and it's Alec. So motherfucker's probably in here right now. How they get scammed 30K. So if you guys ever get this actually is worth the time. So there's a scammer that goes around on Twitter and Discord pretending to be me. And by the way, they do this same thing with Chuck. They do the same thing with Tish. They do the same thing with any big finance influencer. I hate to call myself that, but once you get a certain amount of followers on Twitter, I think is when they start acting like they're you, and they'll basically reach out to you and be like, hey, if you send me money, I'll trade for you. First of all, guys, that's illegal. I'm never going to reach out and ask you to send me money to trade for you. And then people fall for it on a varying amount of degrees, but some poor person, we rallied, we got them a GoFundMe. This was the 30K one was actually a long time ago, but someone did just get scammed like literally last week for 5K. And I felt pretty bad. I'm never going to reach out and offer to trade for you. That's illegal. So, not my cup of tea. So yeah, if somebody reaches out and is like, "Oh, send me money," and then they always ask to do it in crypto. No, the only money I collect is for the Discord or for the masterclass. So again, triple, quadruple check that you're DMing me. It looks familiar, right? They'll be like, it'll be like a letter off, for example. They'll be like, instead of Edgar Allan Doe, it'll be like per instead of a D, it'll be a P, or literally they'll just put a couple periods in the name, and it's really hard to tell. So like, go into the Discord, and like for example, if you're trying to message me about the class, literally hit the icon of the guy who sent the Zoom and message me. As you can see, a guy in the chat just said a scammer just did that to me last week on another Discord. So exactly, that's what I'm saying. See, they use the same message, and it happens in all the Discords. It's fucking shame, but it is what it is. Yep. See, I just had a fake teacher account message me as we speak. Exactly. So there you go, Terrence. So yeah, just always make sure you're messaging me, guys, if you're interested. That's another reason why I tell you to message me, not the other way around. Anyways, okay. GameStop. Yeah, let me do GameStop real quick. Okay, let me minus out this participants. I have the chat open now, guys, too, so I'm monitoring that regularly. So really quick, you can just see like here's a W, right? Here's a M that played out right here, right? Another one right here. So we're actually in one right now. So here's what you don't like to see on GameStop. I want to keep this really simple because sometimes, like I said earlier, trading is actually really simple. But it's not easy because you see what you want to see. When even you guys hear me say it in Discord all the time, the chart tells the story, chart tells the news. So GameStop has been above its 200-day moving average since May of 2024. Every time it's come down, it's done what? It's acted as support and bounced up. Acted as support, bounced up. Now what is it doing? Reject, reject, reject. So it's really simple. As long as GameStop is below this 200-day moving average, if you don't know how to turn on moving averages, at least on TradingView, which I recommend everybody get, it's far better than charting on your fucking platform, whether it's Webull, Robinhood, whatever. Just come out, moving average simple, and then you type in 200. I use a lot of different ones, but the 200 one's the only one I normally have on when I do these simple watch list classes, just to not try to confuse everybody. With a bunch of overwhelming, I already have a lot of shit on my charts that I know can overwhelm new people. 200-day moving average, guys, is considered the master moving average. A lot of people will tell you that a stock's true value is that 200-day moving average. Like real professional investors will tell you that. Never good when you start to see this. This is a simple support into resistance flip. So what was acting as support is now acting as resistance. So Muna, which creative name, as long as you're below that 200-day moving average, I wouldn't be bullish. NVTS, yeah, good share play. Unfortunately, chips got murked last week. Let me flip back on all my shit real quick. Now that we're getting back to all the questions. So this huge bullish imbalance here on the daily, right? Which is why I said I was buying more shares last week. Unfortunately, we're rejecting this moving average here. We need past that, but I'm still buying shares. Earnings alone, and again, by the way, look what played out. I did say this going into earnings. Hopefully, everybody can see it. I thought it would be bearish once the market started. Once this didn't play out, we got this nice rip here and then rejected where we'd been rejected in the past. It was clear that this M was going to play. And sorry for my extremely sloppy drawing, but hopefully everybody can see that, right? And this is why I tell everybody the chart. The chart will always tell the story. Just because we got this fake little breakout, all this was buyers drawing it up to short it to get a better short down into earnings. So good for them. This is another reason why I'm not in any options on this play. This is a pure share play for me, like three plus year play. This was a $10 stock in my personal opinion. Okay, now we got to get past all the scamming questions. Sorry, how do you see the 200-day moving average again? So you go out to indicators on whatever platform you use. I recommend using TradingView. Type moving average simple. And then it's the length. So like if you have 9 there, it's 9 days. If you have, you type 1,000, it's 1,000, right? It's 1,000, or 100, it's 100-day moving average, right? So you would type 200 there, Zach, to get the 200-day moving average. Yep, no problem, Muna. And yep, no problem, Zach. Okay, guys, any guys and gals, any other questions, any other stocks you want me to look at tonight? Oh, I didn't go over Tesla. I will. Another beautiful one, by the way, guys, that I had been tweeting about for a while. M down perfectly to what? Not only our 786, but our 200-day moving average, right? Look at where we bottomed out. Perfectly on this M completion, perfectly on the 200-day moving average, 786 into this bullish imbalance as well. Again, like when I was talking to Dominique earlier, looking for a bunch of reasons, for example, to exit a short and get into a long. There's 5 reasons that you need to not be a greedy bastard and get out of your short and look to go long. So Tesla, really nice chart last week. Beautiful, very satisfying conclusion. Kind of would like it to go and just flush into the 240s to fill in this gap, but that would be bad for the overall market. So just remember in trading that the market is not trying to fuck you. It's just trying to find balance. And these giant gaps on daily charts. Here, I'll open a blank chart so that you don't see a bunch of my shit on here. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about because I'm sure there's plenty of people that have no idea what I'm saying when I say a gap on a chart. So this is a gap, and this is a gap. So notice how there's no candles in between that fill this area. So that's considered a gap in a chart. See how there was a gap here, and then we kept falling, and then we went and filled it with these. And then notice once we filled that, we sold back off because these are imbalances. So there's a ton of buy orders left unfilled by large money here. There's a bunch of buy orders filled by large money here because you and I can't move a stock like this, especially Tesla. We could theoretically move something below $10, but that's also illegal. But we can't move a stock like Tesla. Fuck no. Fuck no. So these gaps are large money buys or sells, right? Like this was a gap down, so this was a sell. Bunch of sell orders here, which is why it took a gap over it to get over that. Funny enough. Same thing here. Gap down. Notice when we went to go visit that gap, what did we do? We sold back off because what was there? More orders to be filled. And then we came and tested it again. What did we do? We sold off. Till finally, what happened? Those sell orders were satisfied, and so we were able to move up momentarily to fully fill that gap. And then what did we do? We moved our way back down. Then we created more gaps. You'll find these all over stocks. Just like the M's and W's, you'll find gaps all over. Need to pay attention to them. And a gap fills on a daily chart 95% of the time. When? No one knows, right? But when you get something like this staring you in the face, Oops, sorry, I'm a terrible drawer sometimes, right? That was clear gap fill coming, right? Very nice. Like here's a good example. Here's one I always use in class to show. That's tough, right? Back in, God help the fucking retards. Or sorry, I don't know all of you guys. I shouldn't use that word. God help the people that bought Pinterest at fucking $90. You are an idiot if you did. Sorry. So in 2020, it gapped up, and 2 years later, it filled that gap. These imbalances will always fill, right? Look at this, right? Gap down. What did it do before it continued back down? Right here, we'll zoom in. Pinterest is just such a good chart. I use Pinterest so much in our classes. So much good stuff to learn on Pinterest chart. Gap down. What did it do before it continued its move, continuing to hell? Right? Filled the gap. Filled that gap. So there wasn't an imbalance up here, which makes me believe I highly doubt Pinterest will see 65 again in the next 3 to 4 years. By that, I mean the odds that Pinterest trades below 65 for the next 3 to 4 years is very likely. But I do think that we'll get up to about 58 and trick a lot of bulls. I do think we'll get up there because what do we have? We have a gap left to fill. So Pinterest is a very intriguing name to me, actually, because of that gap. Look at all look at these great examples. Gap up, and then what did it eventually do? Gap back down to fill. Gapped up. What are we doing right now? We're filling the gap back down. Okay. Anyways, if you like learning shit like that, this is the type of stuff with my other the other guy that I teach all the time. So, any other individual stock requests though for charts tonight, guys and gals? You can come off of mute or you can send them in the chat. And if not, I can let everyone go since it's Sunday night. Ooh, nice little class size, 22, randomly on a Sunday. No other requests? All right, I'll leave you guys with this. Don't buy Pinterest at $90.
Did you go over UNH by any chance?
Sure, I can do UNH, Joey. Sorry, I didn't see your chat, bro. Sure. Let me go back to my actual. Where will this video be posted? I have a YouTube. I'll post the link once it's uploaded. I'll post the YouTube link in both Discords. So UNH, Joe, we came down into this. Look at this, guy. Look at this, guys and gals. Look at this, right? Another great example. So UNH, this is the play we're in. Divine Discord came down. Beautiful, beautiful bullish gap. Look at where that bounced to a T, y'all. Right? Huge buy orders here. What do? We get bought up. Boom, boom, boom. And now kind of Joey, right? Where are we having some trouble? Right? If we're gonna get to this 500 area, it's gonna be, in my opinion, a lot like these last couple days because there's a lot of heavy sell in here. We really need over the 490 area, and then I think we'll get a nice pop to 500. But because of this gap down, there's heavy sell orders here that still have to be satisfied. That's why you're seeing these sells. You see that, Joey, on the chart? Quick,
Yeah,
quick,
I
quick
do.
into these sells. Yeah, so that's why we're having some trouble. So, but yeah, I like UNH as a defensive play, but not as much. Chuck absolutely loves it. Not that I don't love it, but if the market resumes bullishness, if the market starts to do what it did before we got bounced, I'm actually looking at AbbVie. I think is much more attractive. My only concern is this possibly being a double top here. Let me just show you really quick. Now we did close over it, so still, but AbbVie is a absolutely fantastic name in my opinion. Absolutely fantastic. Great dividend stock, by the way. I buy this every week. You zoom out, I mean, just keep buying AbbVie. Overall bullish on UNH, sure. Again, not as much as Chuck, but sure. I prefer AbbVie as a med play personally, but the chart looks good. If it can get over 490, the chart looks very good. That's what I'll say. The chart looks. What I'll say is this: the meat of the move I think was already caught. Chuck caught almost literal bottom on this when this gap filled, and I think like many people, right? Like guys, it was down at 430 and it's already up to 475. It's a $40 move, right? In like 3 trading days. Can't get too greedy, is my point. But yes, overall, UNH is nice. UNH is nice. AMD, guys, what a piece of fucking shit, by the way. Let's just start by saying that, right? What a piece of fucking shit. lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. By the way, it's been making lower highs for over a year. Piece more than that. No, year and a half. Or sorry, literally a year. Keep forgetting we're only in 2025. My fault, no. So since March of 2024, all we've done is make lower highs. It's disgusting. Let me just extend these out really quick. It's a shame. I really thought this was going to be a banger of a play in 2025, but it doesn't want it. It doesn't want it. There's no institutional buying. There's no retail buying now. And now look what we're doing. There's a reason I extended these trend lines out. So this trend had been intact at least. Which, by the way, here goes back to Dominique's original question when she was talking about double tops and double bottoms. And again, I don't want to get too much into like overall stuff. I'm here just to do stocks, but when a pattern like this is normally a bullish pattern. So when you get a declining wedge like this, normally what you see a breakout to the upside. But what has this done? Broken out to the bottom, and now look what's happening. The trend line that was acting as support started doing what? Acting as resistance. So, no comment on AMD. It's wild. They're at every trade show I go to in the tech space, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. $94 would be my current target. If it can't get back into trend. If it gets back into trend, 110, I would say it's going to see. So hopefully that's helpful. Any other requests tonight, y'all? Hood. I did Hood at the beginning, bro. I did Hood and Nike, so just check the YouTube when I post it. I'll post it tonight. Like literally, those were two of the first stocks I did. So just watch the beginning. I did Riot. Sure, I'll do Mara. I did Riot. I should just tell you, just play Riot instead, but they're like the exact same chart. But it needs over this moving average. But I do like Mara. I like Riot way better because it had a here. I will just tell you. Just go watch the video at the beginning, and I go over Riot. I think Riot's a much better R&R, which means risk to reward, guys. Than Mara right now, bro. If you're trying to play some upside, like cheap upside off the Bitcoin pump, which I'm assuming that's why you're asking, I would play Riot over Mara. Need past this fucking bearish imbalance on the daily. I knew that would hit us today. Fucking sucks. Look at that, guys. Perfect wick into this sell block. Bullshit. Good for big money, though. Any other questions? Any other requests tonight, guys? Remember, you can message me on Discord if you want to do the masterclass. I'll respond to those tonight. It is paid, just so y'all know. It's 3 whole months. We meet every week for 2 hours. Yeah, crypto, bro, responds to Fibonacci better than freaking stocks. It's actually insane. So let me just draw my fib real quick. I don't know why it's not here. I don't know why my fib isn't here. Look at that. To the T came down, wicked. Look at where we're rejecting right at the 382 in this bearish imbalance here. Yeah, bro. It's actually insane how much Bitcoin respects its fibs. It's fucking crazy. Look at how long we chopped at the 382, like to the penny. Boom, 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 boom. That's why this actually kind of sucks, guys, right? Like this is why I really want us past this level. That's why you just heard me say what I said, because what was I just talking about with GameStop earlier, right? This was acting as support, and now what's it kind of doing? It's acting as resistance. We really need over 94. I would really say 95 because that's where this bearish imbalance is. But as long as we can get back over this fib, you guys see what guys and gals see what I'm saying? How this was acting as support for the better part of like 4 months, and now, just saying, we really need over this level because all that we've done so far is we've come back up to fill this imbalance. Because what did I tell y'all? The market likes to be balanced, and so the algorithm would largely tell you that this is now balanced. We could head further down if we wanted to. Like, really, what we don't want to see is a pop over to fully close and satisfy this, and then and then if we started trending down again, I'd get pretty bearish personally. Just saying. So, just saying. But yeah, Romero, sorry. As always, I went on a bit of a tangent there. But yes, fibs are money in crypto. So, anything else tonight, guys? If not, I'll let y'all go. Go put my son to bed. Yeah, no problem, bro. No problem. Thanks everybody for the questions. It makes class this shit way easier once I'm done going through the stocks. Thanks for sharing. Just DM you on Discord for the course. Cool. Great class. Thank you. Yep, no problem, Terrence. Yeah, I'll hit you back, Angel. Cool. All right, everybody. I'll be in all the Discords as always. Thank you. Yeah, no problem, Zach. No problem, Dominique. Zach. Yep. See you, everyone. Have a good night.